What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerdy Mark channel. I'm Sid the Nerdy Mark, and this is my review of SummerSlam 2018. SummerSlam 2018, the biggest party / biggest event of the summer. WWE could not make up their minds as to what they wanted to call it. Even though a party is technically an event, I digress. We have a lot to cover. There was about 15, 16 matches in this card, so I'm gonna kind of go a little bit fast, so hope you guys can keep up. Let's find out if this pay-per-view lived up to the hype, whether I'm going to give it a 2 thumbs up or 2 thumbs down or somewhere in the middle. Let's start off with all the kickoff matches. There were 2 title matches. Neither title changed hands. The first match we did get was Rusev and Lana versus Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega. This was a fun match. I enjoyed it. Nothing too great about it. Aiden English wasn't out there to cost Rusev and Lana the match, yet Almas and Vega picked up the victory, and then we moved on to the cruiserweight match between Drew Gulak and the cruiserweight champion Cedric Alexander. Good stuff here by both men. Cedric Alexander retained in the end, and finally we did have the Raw Tag Team Championship match between the Revival and the champions, the B Team, which again, I'm wondering why this was on the pre-show. The B Team did win via fluky shenanigans, so I'm wondering who their next opponent is going to be. Crossing my fingers, it's the Authors of Pain. So, starting off this pay-per-view was Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental title. Whenever Seth Rollins opens up a pay-per-view, it is always great. This is always a great way to open up your pay-per-view with Rollins, even though he should probably be saved for a little bit later on in the card because, you know what, he's that good. As is Dolph Ziggler. Dolph, of course, had Drew McIntyre on his corner, and Seth had a returning and more jacked Dean Ambrose on his corner, and this was great stuff. Dean Ambrose really was itching to get into this match. Throughout the whole match, he was literally wanting to kill somebody. That's what he looked like. He looked like he wanted to kill someone. He got that chance kind of with Drew McIntyre, where towards the end he did plant him with dirty deed. Seth was distracted by it. Ziggler wanted to go for the super kick, but Rollins hit him with a super kick of his own. Curb stomp, 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins is your new Intercontinental Champion. Great match. Great way to open up this pay-per-view. Up next, we did have the New Day taking on the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Bludgeon Brothers, in a pretty decent match. I enjoyed it throughout. Typical New Day and Bludgeon Bros stuff. Bludgeon Brothers trying to outpower the New Day, and the New Day using their quickness and their power in the form of Big E tried to overcome the odds. However, the match did end via disqualification when Rowan actually became desperate and picked up the rubber mallet and attacked the New Day with it, and Harper, of course, followed suit. So the New Day won via DQ, but the Bludgeon Brothers still retained. Good match, screwy finish. I really didn't like this finish that much, but I did enjoy the match. We then had Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens. If Braun lost by pinfall, submission, countout, or DQ, he would lose the briefcase to Kevin Owens. I personally did want Kevin Owens to win via faulty finish. However, Braun Strowman did basically murder Kevin Owens once again, so rest in peace, Kevin. And he, of course, retained his briefcase. What did you expect? It's Braun Strowman. He's going to kill somebody. Next up, we did have Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch versus the SmackDown Women's Champion Carmella in a triple threat match. Another really, really good match. It was fun stuff. Becky and Charlotte going at it, their friendship kind of deteriorating throughout the match. Carmella, successfully driving a wedge between them. The match did end when Carmella was pinned by Charlotte, and Charlotte Flair is now your new SmackDown Women's Champion. Now, this was a good match, but I didn't really get why we're giving another title run for Charlotte. However, the post-match angle was really good because Becky came and hugged her best friend, and then Swerve beat the living hell out of Charlotte Flair. This looks like a Becky Lynch heel turn, even though some people are saying it's not. If you're a babyface and you attack a babyface, you basically are a heel. Becky Lynch has, in my book, has officially turned heel, but of course, we should wait until Tuesday because I still haven't watched SmackDown yet at the time when we were recording this, so yeah. But this was a fun match. I really, really liked it. Good stuff here by all three women. I'm just glad Carmella's reign as SmackDown champion is over. Next up, Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. Now, Samoa Joe has been playing some mind games, bringing in AJ Styles' family into this. Speaking of which, his wife and his young daughter were in the crowd. AJ's gear was apparently a tribute to The Undertaker. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about AJ Styles wearing purple. It looks interesting, but I guess because I'm so used to seeing him wear black and blue. I mean, it was a good change, but, you know, Samoa Joe does get on the mic. He tells Wendy that he's going to send her daddy home, but it doesn't look like he's coming home, but don't worry, I'll be your daddy. This made AJ snap. He gets a chair and beats the crap out of Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe gets the win, but AJ does retain. Now, this is also a faulty finish, but I can understand why they did it because this storyline still has a ways to go. I am really excited for this feud, and I'm betting that there's going to be a rematch at Hell in a Cell. And matter of fact, this match should be a Hell in a Cell match. Up next, a rivalry that's been going on for 8 years, The Miz versus Daniel Bryan in an extremely psychological warfare. This was fantastic stuff by both men. Daniel Bryan doing all of his offensive moves. Miz, of course, being the cowardly heel, doing whatever he has to do to get into the mind of Daniel Bryan and win by hook or crook. It doesn't matter with him. So I enjoyed a lot of it. You know, The Miz, of course, trying to repeatedly copy Daniel Bryan's moves, trying to, you know, hit the it kick, trying to hit the running drop kick like Daniel Bryan does. I forgot what that move is called, but like when Daniel Bryan, you know, has you up in the air, suspended up in the air while he's pulling your legs and arms, he has you suspended up in the air. I'll find out the move and I'll put it right here. But this was really good stuff. Both men tried to copy each other. Miz was trying to copy Daniel Bryan, so both guys were just basically who can do Daniel Bryan's move better, really. But the match did end when, of course, The Miz went backstage. Maurice discreetly handed him a pair of brass knuckles, and Miz punched Daniel Bryan in the face. Very ironic because Daniel Bryan has been talking about punching Miz in the face. So Daniel Bryan gets punched in the face by a pair of brass knuckles, and The Miz wins the match. This was good stuff, good psychological tension between the two. Again, this storyline also has a ways to go. I am excited for the next chapter in this feud. Next up, the match that I was absolutely looking forward to throughout this entire card, and that is, of course, Constable Baron Corbin versus Demon King Balor. Okay, look, the paint, first of all, I have to say the face paint looked fantastic. It looked really badass. But the fact that they wasted it on a match with Baron Corbin is what kind of concerns me. It really irks me because I really wish that it was Finn Balor when he's challenging for the Universal title or something like that. I personally believe that's when he should be bringing out the Demon, or if he's wrestling another high-profile match. However, they did bring the Demon out, and this was a pretty one-sided match. Baron Corbin got barely any offense. I don't think he got any offense in at all. It was all Demon Balor throughout this match. So this was ended pretty quickly and definitively with Balor winning with the coup de grace. So this was good. I'm glad they kept this short because I don't think anybody really wanted to see more than 5 minutes of these two fighting. Next up, we did have Jeff Hardy taking on the U.S. champion Shinsuke Nakamura in an amazing match. This was probably my favorite match of the night. For me, this was match of the night. Both men did amazing stuff. These two are, like I said, mirror images of each other. Jeff Hardy is the American Shinsuke Nakamura, and Nakamura is the Japanese Jeff Hardy. Both these men have very similar styles, and it was amazing to see what both these men can do in the ring. And Jeff Hardy, despite saying that he's going to take it easy on the swantons, I mean, he was hitting swanton after swanton, and he was just going for it, and this was good stuff. You know, hopefully he doesn't exasperate his body, his shoulder, or his knee, or anything like that. So I know one Hardy's already taken time off the ring for surgery. I don't want another Hardy to do that. So Jeff, you know, take it a little easy, buddy. This was great. I'm glad that these two were able to just have a full wrestling match, and there was no like faulty finish involving Randy Orton. Nakamura did try to get a low blow in, but it didn't work. The match did end, however, with Shinsuke hitting the Kinshasa onto Jeff and winning definitively and clean, and of course retaining the US title. Randy Orton did come out, and then I guess he forgot something, so he went towards the back. So that was weird. I don't know what that was all about, but I guess we'll get more answers on Tuesday. Phenomenal match. Sorry, AJ Styles. Next up, Ronda Rousey taking on Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. Natalya is out in Jim the Anvil Neidhart's jacket. One very nice tribute to the Anvil, so that was good stuff. This was another pretty short match. I think that was fine. Alexa barely got any offense. Ronda Rousey, you know, she had this weird eye makeup that made her look like a raccoon. I guess she was going for Natalie Portman in Black Swan. I don't know, but it just didn't look, I just didn't like it. I'm sorry. But she did this kind of meditation thing in the ring. I guess she was taking lessons from Jinder Mahal. Alexa Bliss put her in kind of a rest hold. And that's one thing I have to mention. A lot of rest holds throughout this pay-per-view. That was one big flaw for me. That's one thing I didn't like about this whole thing. Rest hold city throughout this pay-per-view. Ronda Rousey does, of course, lift up Alexa Bliss, throws her down. Eventually, she does put the armbar on Alexa, and she taps pretty much instantaneously. So Ronda Rousey is your new Raw Women's Champion. This was alright. I didn't really care much for this match. More or less a squash. Congratulations, Ronda, I guess, the new Raw Women's Champion. Finally, we do have Roman Reigns taking on the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar. And before the match started, Braun Strowman, Mr. Money in the Bank, came out. We all thought he was going to cash in, but he got on the mic and he said that he doesn't want to face his opponents when they're weak. Kind of reminds me of Goku a little bit. And then he said he's going to watch the match on the outside. But then again, Braun, if you don't want to face your opponents when they're weakened, you should have cashed in right there. Both men were fresh when you came out. Roman kind of starting out strong in the beginning. He actually was, you know, trying to end this match a little early. It wasn't a great match. It wasn't honestly the best way to end out this pay-per-view. It was an okay match in my opinion. Brock Lesnar and Roman kind of spilled to the outside. Roman did accidentally hit a suicide dive onto Braun Strowman. Brock went outside and started beating up on Strowman, took his Money in the Bank briefcase, and chucked it halfway across the world. He came back in. He was distracted with Braun. Roman hits one more spear. 1, 2, 3. Finally, he has won the Universal title. We finally can have the Universal title on Raw every single week. I know that this Roman is not the best option right now, but you know what? It's better than not having the title show up every single week. Like, just whenever the hell the champion feels like showing up. Though at least Roman Reigns, at least the man shows up for work every single week on Monday. So at least we get to see the title then. Even though the title looks like a big pound of flesh, that doesn't matter. We get to see Roman Reigns finally capture the Universal title. And I think just so Vince can get it out of his system, I would give Roman a few good months with the belt and then have him drop it to maybe Finn Balor. So that would be interesting. Or maybe Braun can cash in, maybe at Survivor Series, or maybe even if you want to wait until Mania 35, that's fine. Whatever. I'm just glad the Universal title is going to be on Raw every single week now. So congratulations, Roman. Brock, good luck in the UFC. So overall, I actually really enjoyed SummerSlam 2018. This was a fantastic pay-per-view. I think the best pay-per-view that the main roster has put out. I haven't watched TakeOver Brooklyn 4 yet. I'm still going to watch it. I'm probably going to watch it this weekend. If you guys want a review for that, I might do one on my Instagram, and I might do an Instagram live video. Maybe I'll ask Tim Farley or John Kearns from Armbar Audio to join me, but we'll see. However, this was a fantastic pay-per-view. The matches that needed to be drawn out were drawn out, and of course the short matches were kept short purposefully. A lot of storylines were drawn out. A lot of feuds were set up. Just overall good stuff. I just like good storytelling in my pay-per-views, and SummerSlam accomplished it. As far as some of my favorite matches, of course, match of the night, Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy. Rollins versus Ziggler was really good. Daniel Bryan versus Miz. Carmella versus Charlotte versus Becky, with Becky Lynch turning heel. She's heel in my book. I don't care what you say. So those are some of my favorite matches. But as far as a rating for SummerSlam 2018, I'm going to give SummerSlam a thumbs up. So that concludes my thoughts on SummerSlam 2018. Let me know what you guys think about this pay-per-view in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media and tell your friends about the Nerdy Mark. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Sid signing off. You guys take care. Bye-bye.